Be prepared. August 5th will feel like nothing to the world, but for a specific few, it might just be the moment everything begins. Everyone around you will treat tomorrow like it's just another Monday, but for a very specific few, it's not. Because August 5th is the beginning of your mission. Quiet, precise, activated, without warning. You weren't born to fit in. You weren't sent here to follow the noise. And tomorrow, August 5th, isn't random. It's the signal, the initiation point. A shift so subtle the world won't even notice it happened. But you will. This moment is not for everyone. Most people will scroll past it, sleep through it, laugh at it, but not you. Because something in you recognizes this feeling. You weren't chosen to escape the world. You were chosen to walk back into it and wake others up. The real mission isn't loud. It doesn't come with applause or rewards. It comes when someone around you finally sees through the fog because you stood in it long enough to show them the way out. You've been in the chaos. You've been in the confusion. And that's exactly why you're the one who's qualified to guide others through theirs. This mission is not about healing everyone. It's about being the one person someone else finally hears when they've been drowning in silence. Let's be honest, this world hasn't made it easy for you. You've been laughed at, dismissed, silenced, and ignored. Every time you spoke with conviction, they called it delusion. Every time you trusted your intuition, they said you were unstable. Every time you tried to be real in a world that rewards the fake, you paid the price. You were punished for seeing too much in a world that thrives on denial. But now, the same people who called you crazy are panicking in confusion. The ones who laughed at your silence are now desperate for your calm. And the ones who mocked your path are standing on the edge of theirs, with no idea where to go. Here's what separates the chosen ones from the rest. You still care. You still have it in you to help, to guide, to lead, even after everything they put you through. That's not weakness. That's power. You kept your heart open in a world that gave you every reason to shut it down. But not everyone gets to follow you. Not everyone deserves your energy. Some will come back with real remorse. Those are the ones you help, the ones who still carry bitterness, the ones who continue to mock what they don't understand. Let them walk. They were never meant to stand beside you, and if no one's told you this yet, you've done well. You've survived what others couldn't even comprehend. You didn't fold, you didn't disappear, you kept going. And that's exactly why you're the one people will look to when the lights go out. You are not just ready, you are the mission. There's a shift happening, and the ones meant to lead can't afford to hesitate anymore. Lately, you've probably felt it. A low, dense heaviness that won't shake off. It's not just you. It's not just your city or your mood or your timeline. There's been a global wave of distortion sweeping through the energetic field, and it's throwing everything out of balance. People are more reactive, more impulsive, more desperate to cling to distractions just to feel normal. Spiritual leaders who once carried light are now second-guessing themselves. Healers are overwhelmed. Intuitives are drained. The structure is wobbling, and the roles are starting to blur. This is what happens when energy gets hijacked and scattered. When shadows get louder than truth, confusion spreads fastest when the ones who are supposed to lead stay quiet. That's why you're being activated now, not next week, not when it's convenient, not after one more sign. Because you were built for this exact turbulence. You've been trained in the dark, taught through pain, prepared in silence. And now the earth is calling the quiet ones out of hiding. Not to fight with anger, but to hold a frequency strong, enough to shift rooms without even speaking. The earth doesn't need more noise, it needs anchors, and that's what you are, a living anchor, a presence that re-enters those around you just by being stable. That's the real battle mode, not reacting, but remaining when everything around you wants to collapse. The first pushback confirms you hit something real. You're going to feel it the moment you speak truth out loud. that shift in the air, the eyes narrowing, the energy tightening. It's not paranoia, it's pushback, and it's the clearest sign that something inside them felt what you said and didn't know how to deal with it. Most people will resist awakening, not because they hate the truth, but because it threatens the version of themselves they've built to survive. And when that version feels attacked, it reacts. So don't take it personally. Don't fall into the trap of defending your truth or proving your insight. Your clarity is not up for debate. Instead, redirect. When someone gets defensive, soften the edge. Not your truth, your delivery. Say something like, "I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just noticing that reaction. What do you think that's about?" That single sentence can create a pause long enough for a shadow to start unraveling. Awakening isn't about shoving light into people's faces. It's about planting seeds in the right soil and knowing when to walk away if it isn't fertile yet. Not everyone will thank you. Some will lash out. Some will call you arrogant or crazy or controlling. Let them. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be effective. Resistance is just part of the work. It's proof that the old structures are being challenged. And the moment you feel that tension, that's your cue to lean in. Not with force, but with presence. A presence that makes people question why they ever felt so certain about their confusion. You're not just here to speak truth. You're here to make truth feel undeniable, even when it hurts, even when it shakes everything. Especially then. If you felt numb lately, like you've been moving through molasses, or as if life suddenly pressed a giant mute button, you're not alone. Many of the chosen ones have been stuck in a kind of energetic freeze, not depressed, not tired in the usual way, just disconnected, like the engine was idling but not driving. That was never laziness. That was a spiritual hibernation. And tomorrow, that stillness ends. You see, real alignment doesn't happen in chaos. It happens in silence. And the last few months, despite how frustrating they felt, have been the exact silence needed to refine something deep inside you. You weren't inactive. You were incubating. Stillness is not stagnation. It's the moment before ignition. And now, that ignition is here. August 5th marks a point in the timeline where something subtle but undeniable reactivates within you. You may not have words for it yet, but your body will feel it first. Sudden sparks of energy, pressure in the chest, a jolt of inspiration, or the unshakable need to change something immediately, even if you don't know why. This is your internal compass turning back on. You might feel urges you can't explain, a burst of physical energy after weeks of fatigue, a vision of something you're supposed to build, say, or leave behind. And here's what matters. Don't ignore it. The signal might be soft, but it's direct. It's for you. Others around you may stay asleep. That's okay. This reactivation isn't for everyone. It's for the ones who've been in hiding, the ones who needed time to recalibrate without distraction, the ones who didn't even know how burnt out they were until the spark returned. Clarity doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just stops letting you settle. So if tomorrow feels different, don't fight it. Don't question why it's happening now. Just move with it. The cycle of stillness is complete, and you're no longer invisible. Helping others sharpens your mission. Here's something most people never realize about being a chosen one. The path doesn't just get clearer by walking it alone. It gets sharper every time you help someone else see theirs. You might think your purpose is just about self-discovery, or staying protected, or trying to figure out your own alignment in silence. But that's only part of it. The rest of your clarity, the part that makes your path unshakable, comes the moment you mirror someone else's awakening back to them. This is the feedback loop no one teaches. When you speak truth into someone else's confusion, something inside you tightens, refines, locks in. Because the act of guiding doesn't just serve them, it reflects your own next step. Every time you spark insight in someone else, your own light adjusts to shine cleaner. So, if you've been waiting to figure it all out before helping others, you've got it backward. You don't wait until you're perfect. You get clearer through the act of giving clarity. That's how the mission scales from both sides. Their breakthrough becomes your reinforcement. Their question calls forward your answer. And in that exchange, your own path lights up. It's not about saving anyone. It's not about convincing them either. It's simply about offering your grounded presence, your signal into their storm, and watching how that interaction tunes something deeper within you. The world has always taught you to keep your energy to yourself. But this mission doesn't work like that. Your clarity multiplies in motion, not in isolation. You don't lose yourself by helping others. You find the next version of you through them. And when that happens, when your message lands, when someone around you sees themselves for the first time because of something you said, that's when you'll realize this was never just about you. It was always about the field you're shaping, one spark at a time. Not everyone was built for this. That's exactly why you were. This mission isn't open to the public. It doesn't come with instructions, and it definitely doesn't knock twice. That's why only a few people will ever feel this call, and even fewer will answer it. You're not here by accident. You didn't stumble into this video for no reason. Something inside you knows. This is different. This is yours. The truth is, most people can't handle the responsibility of seeing clearly. They'll deny it, reject it, mock it, or run from it. They weren't built for this kind of weight. But you were. You were chosen because you didn't break when everything tried to break you. This mission requires someone who can hold space when no one else can. Someone who can stay grounded in the storm and still reach a hand back for others. You've lived in shadows most people are terrified to acknowledge. And you came out of it wiser, not bitter. That's not a coincidence. That's qualification. This is why your life never made sense to anyone else, why you never fit in, why everything felt harder, heavier, and lonelier. You were being trained for a task that doesn't come with applause, but it changes everything for the people lucky enough to cross your path. Being chosen never felt like a reward, but one day it will feel like purpose, and that day, it starts tomorrow. You didn't choose this day. This day remembered you. There's something strange about tomorrow. It won't look different from the outside. The sun will rise the same way. People will go to work, drink their coffee, argue online, and scroll through their distractions. But you'll feel it in your body before anything else. It might come as a pulse in the chest, a heat behind the eyes. That slight, surreal sensation like something's off, but not in a bad way. Just off enough to make you look around and wonder if something invisible just clicked into place. It did because August 5th was always on your map, not your calendar, your soul's blueprint. This is not a beginning. This is a checkpoint. There are moments scattered throughout your life that were never meant to be, remembered logically. They were designed to wake you up energetically, like tuning forks built into your timeline. And tomorrow is one of them. You may not remember agreeing to anything before you were born, but deep down, your system does. This mission, the reason you've always felt a little different, a little misplaced, even a little burdened, isn't random. It was embedded into the fiber of your being before your first breath. Some memories don't live in the mind. They live in the electricity between your cells. August 5th is a soul alarm. It rings not to start something new, but to remind you of what's already underway. It brings a kind of emotional déjà vu, a sense that you've been preparing for this day without knowing it, that every breakdown, every exile, every misunderstanding, every quiet moment where you questioned your value was leading to this pivot, and you don't need to fully understand it for it to matter. Your mission doesn't need a definition. It needs your attention. So if you feel that pull tomorrow, that subtle magnet in your chest that says this day is not like the others, don't brush it off. Don't try to explain it away. You're not making it up. You're remembering something you never forgot. Your energy is sacred. Not everyone deserves access to it. The mission is real. The energy is rising. And when it kicks in, it's going to feel like fuel, like purpose rushing through your veins. You'll wake up with clarity, conviction, maybe even a touch of urgency. After all, this time wandering, things finally click. You know what you're here to do, and that's where the danger begins. Because when purpose hits, it doesn't always come with a warning label. It feels so good to help, to finally step into your role that you forget what it costs. Not in theory, not in some vague spiritual metaphor in your body, in your sleep, in your nervous system, in your capacity to be present. You start giving your clarity away like it's endless. You overextend. You answer every call. You hold space for people who don't want healing. They want a dumping ground. You say yes when your inner compass says stop, not because you're weak, because you're built to care. And because the high of finally being needed is so intense, it tricks you into thinking you can do it all. But you're not a machine. You're a vessel, and vessels crack when they're not cared for. Even light workers need shelter from their own shine. Burnout doesn't always arrive loudly. It slips in sideways. You'll notice you're more irritable, more reactive. That clarity turns foggy. That guidance becomes grasping. You'll start second-guessing yourself. Not because you're off track, but because you never pause to recharge. And let's be honest, some of you have never really learned how to rest without guilt, how to say no without feeling like you're letting the whole mission collapse. But that's the trap. That's the old programming. The one that says, service means self-sacrifice. No, that's not the path anymore. This isn't about becoming a martyr. It's about becoming effective, and effectiveness demands sustainability. So as August 5th opens the next chapter, don't just rise, regulate. Protect the clarity you've worked so hard to find. Make space for silence, not as a luxury, but as a spiritual practice. Let your inner world recalibrate. Let your system exhale. Because every time you ground yourself, you become sharper, stronger, cleaner in your transmission. Real light doesn't flash. It glows, calm, steady, and unshakable. That's what the mission needs from you now. Not exhaustion disguised as dedication, but devotion shaped by discernment. You're not here to be everything to everyone. You're here to stay clear enough to be exactly what's needed at the right time for the right reason, with nothing wasted. And that kind of precision only comes when your own energy is treated like the sacred force it is. Don't just carry the mission, honor it. And that starts with honoring you. August 5th is the spark, but what comes after? That's the fire. This isn't about one grand moment of purpose and then disappearing back into confusion. The real mission, the one that creates ripples across time and people and hearts, is built by what you do next. Not what you do perfectly, not what you do once, but what you keep showing up for, even when it feels quiet, even when no one's watching. Because this isn't a movie. There's no background music telling you when it's time to act. No flashing sign. You won't always feel activated, and that's the point. That's where most people drop the thread. But the chosen ones, they keep the chain alive. Awakening is not a lightning strike. It's a daily flicker you keep choosing to protect. So, what does that look like now? It's not about chasing more signs. It's not about waiting for the next wave to carry you. You are the wave now, and the power is in what you do with the momentum. Speak when you feel a truth rise in your chest, even if your voice shakes. Ask the hard questions, especially when silence is more comfortable. Listen more deeply, because the people around you will reveal what they don't yet know how to ask for. And above all, stay honest with yourself. This new chapter doesn't need a new version of you. It needs the version that's been underneath the conditioning the whole time. The one who's been waiting patiently for you to stop doubting and just go. Even when it's inconvenient, even when no one claps, even when it feels like your effort goes unseen. Because unseen does not mean ineffective. Every time you choose truth over comfort, the mission gets louder, even in silence. That's how the chain stays alive, through consistency, not performance, through small clarity drops, not constant reinvention. You won't always feel magical, you won't always feel ready, but readiness is a myth. What's real is movement. What's real is the pull in your chest that says, this matters. Keep going, and when in doubt, just give the next honest thing. That's it. The smallest truth, the quietest signal, the gentlest correction. That's how you hold the frequency. That's how the mission builds itself through you. You don't need to see the full map. You are the map in motion. And August 5th, that was never the end goal. It's just the ignition point. The part where everything quiet inside you suddenly says, I'm ready now. And for the first time, you actually believe it. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.